What is up, everybody? It's me again with my co-host Brett,
Oh,
back with another back with another webisode series of the Tip Touch podcast. How's it going, man? I mean, are you enjoying
oh,
fine over there?
oh, yeah, I'm depressed. Drinking my sorrows away.
Are you at your
And
third bottle of wine?
yeah, this is like my fourth bottle. And I don't know. I just figure, this will probably be our last podcast and you can have my Walkman. I'm done. Done.
You're hanging up the headphones.
I'm done. Hanging up the headphones for good.
No, one thing that I think a lot, some of the people that probably watched the previous episode or newest episode, which was the pretty much like the tell up between you and Daya.
Yeah.
If nobody has seen that, she left to the Philippines yesterday, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
how
she
was
did.
that? I mean,
Yeah.
how was the ride there at the airport and all that?
Man, it was crazy. So, on our personal blog, I wrote about it a little bit on my personal blog, which is at k1experience.com. And you can catch sort of our personal family journey there. But yeah, it was crazy, man. Like, while we were doing the interview, we were all joking about how the fact that my wife was going to be leaving and taking Izzy with her. And this was the
Yeah,
first time she was going to be gone from, separated.
yeah,
Uh, for 5 years. We've been together for 5 years, just attached to the hip, basically.
yeah.
And I thought party. It's gonna be a party. It's gonna be fun. But it actually sucked, man, because like okay, so we got the TSA pre-check for her
Yeah.
so that she could just go into oh man, one of the worst mistakes I ever did. Not because it didn't get her through the line quick, because it
Yeah.
did. It got her through really quick.
Oh,
But I
okay.
wanted more of a goodbye with her.
Yeah, yeah,
And so the TSA was so darn efficient that I didn't even I was just in tears before, like they were already on the other side of the security line. It was crazy.
You're like, well, that was pretty quick.
Yeah. Wow. It was like on it was as quick as it was like a 9/10 of 2001, like before the attack. So yeah, it was crazy. It was a
Yeah.
crazy. So they'll be gone basically for the rest of the year. We won't see
Oh
them.
wow, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll meet them down for Christmas. So we'll do Christmas in the Philippines and
Nice, nice.
have all that kind of fun.
Nice, nice. So, yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely going to be a little different with being without people that you're with you know all the time, right? So
Oh
I
yeah.
would think that it's just a different vibe, different setting. It's too quiet to the point where you're like
Oh
paranoid. Like, what was that? You know?
yeah, yeah. It was like so. Like every time I come home from work, Isabella, she will hear the garage door open, and then as soon
Yeah.
as she hears me open the house door, she just screams because she is so excited to have Dad come home, and
Yeah.
eh, I won't be hearing that for a while. But I am keeping up with the family, so we get a
Yeah.
FaceTime every day. So we still connect, and wifey FaceTimed me, showed me pictures of Isabella's first sunrise in Cebu in the
Oh, okay.
Philippines, and that was really cool. So we'll keep tabs, we'll keep in touch, and all that fun stuff.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah,
Good
but
stuff,
I did
man.
clean
Good
out the
stuff.
fridge. I cleaned out all the fish, anything that was like anything that I wouldn't eat and whatever. So all the fish, all the Filipino cuisine has been completely
Just
taken out of the
gone.
fridge because I did not want to forget about it and then have to smell it a month from now going, what
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
smell coming from?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's only gonna
Yeah.
be bean burritos and a Hungry Man Lunchables, whatever they call those, the frozen
No.
dinners.
No. No. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I am in case she gets any crazy thoughts about her wanting to stay in the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
I am cutting out all the bread, all the carbs, all the sugar from my diet, and for the next 2.5 months, I'm just eating meat and lean meat and fruits and vegetables, salads, all that stuff. So I'm gonna go to the Philippines with a set of handcuffs because she's gonna need them.
Yeah. You're pretty much going like on a keto based diet.
I don't know what it is. I think that people would call it like an Atkins diet, maybe, or I don't know. I don't know what all the diet names are, the trends are.
There's so
All I
many,
know is
man.
that every time I have dairy, sugar, and bread, I just bloat. And,
Yeah,
I even have to reduce my beer and my
yeah.
wine.
Well, hey, it's good for your heart, right? That's what they're saying. That a glass of wine is good for your what is it? Just your heart
Yeah,
overall, right?
for
That's what
your
I heard.
cardiac,
Yeah,
cardiac.
it's one of those. It's one of
I don't know.
those.
I'm on my fourth bottle, so I hope my heart is doing really good right now. What
Just
about
don't
you,
hop in the
man?
car.
What have you been up to since the last time we talked?
Not much, man. Just the usual, trying to get my stream going, trying to get my name out there, really, and just hanging out with the family.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, man. Nothing too crazy. Just really excited for our next interview. So people that don't know, we are going to be interviewing a really good friend of mine, a tattoo artist by the name of Luis. Some of you may know him. He works at if I remember the name correctly, Prodigy Tattoo in North Everett. So we are going to do an
Okay.
interview with him that is scheduled for this Saturday. So keep tight and hold
In the
on.
studio, right
For
here,
that.
baby.
Yes, in the studio. So I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be legit. It's gonna be legit. So other than that, yeah, man, it's the same stuff though. Really, just kind of waiting for that and other stuff that we got in the tank too to do. So we got some stuff lined up. But
Oh
other than
yeah, man.
that, man,
Hey, are
yeah,
we getting a free tattoo out of this, or is he gonna come in with the prison tack gun and
I
all
know,
that?
right?
That's what
Right
like the
there, just live, right there on the live studio session, just tatting you up, dude.
yeah, baby. I want all my sponsors tattooed on my back.
Oh man, that
uh,
would be a way to what is it? Show your sponsorships off, dude.
that's what we need to do. We need to stream that. Yo, I want my
Well, what's
first
crazy?
tramp stamp.
That's a good topic to talk about. Now, this surprised me when you told me, and you sent me a video, and I was just thinking to myself, is this really real right now? So okay,
What video?
so it was a stream session of a gentleman that claims to be homeless. I just could not believe it, and I'm like, and I asked you, I'm like, is this for real? And I
Dude,
and I even asked you, what is he doing? What is he streaming? Just him just sitting there or what? And all I saw was a picture of this guy just kind of like on a couch, I'm like,
did you
and what's
watch the stream?
I didn't watch the stream, but what's crazy is the fact that people were donating money to him, and he had a huge following from what I can recall, right? So you could tell me
No.
about it. So how'd you stumble across it? That's first and
Okay.
foremost.
So like I get bored sometimes so I go to Mixer and if you're not playing, then I will go wander around.
Yeah.
And so they have different areas. In fact, I was thinking since YouTube is making us wait on till to have 1,000 subscribers, Mixer will let you go in just like that. So I figured maybe one of these times we should do like a live Mixer session.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
anyway, and so they have the different subjects, the different categories, and
Mhm.
one of them is web show, which I
Okay.
think that's the category the Tip Touch should be under.
Yeah.
And then there's IRL, which is in real life, and like they have they have this one stream that's basically just kittens. They just
What?
have a webcam focused on kitten. Hey, yeah. and
Oh
then
man.
and then there was this lady yesterday. She was in Chinatown, New York, and she was just taking her camera and she was just going all around Chinatown, New York, doing whatever she was doing. But anyway, so that's where I found the homeless guy. And
Yeah.
like and I'm like staring at this going, wait a minute. I gotta work 60 hours a week to pay for my internet and cable. What's he doing? How's he paying for this bill? And he's taking donations
I
on his
know.
channel, and people are
Yes.
donating. People are donating for him to have internet service just so he can stream himself sitting on a couch being homeless,
I
like he's wearing it like a badge of honor.
it's
I was
crazy.
going insane. I was like, dude, Eddie, you got to see this. You got to see this. Oh,
Oh man, I was cracking up so hard. I think I was actually in a game session, and I told the guys that I was playing with, and they started cracking up. I'm like, "Are you serious? Some homeless dude just getting paid to just sit there?" I'm like,
I'm
from
not
what it looks
laughing
like.
at him being homeless. I'm laughing at the fact that homeless people are making money. They're figuring it out.
Hey man, I'll say this, dude. If it's a way to where like, you know, they're doing this at wherever they're at and they're doing it like in a legitimate way or whatever, like so be it. But the fact that people are actually just like throwing money, like not throwing money, but donating money to him for whatever, maybe to keep the internet up or whatever. But it's just mind blowing to me that you find something for everything on Mixer. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
The
crazy
thing
to
that
think that
concerned
that's like a real thing.
the thing that concerned me about it though was the fact that if you don't know it, like there's the reason why there's panhandling laws out there, like where the cities and places don't want you to give money directly to
Yeah.
the homeless is because they use that money for drugs. And when you use that money for drugs, you're continuing to perpetuate a problem that's already out of control. So
Yes.
when I see that, that's sort of my fear is that
Mm.
all you're doing is just enabling someone who really just needs a real hand to help. Because if you really want to get out of that situation,
Yeah.
there are resources out there,
For sure. For
and so
sure.
that's really what what the real concern is.
I thought I was pretty just baffled overall when you sent me that, and I just couldn't believe it. I
Dude,
couldn't believe that was a real thing. I was like, I guess, man, it really just shocked me.
yeah,
But yeah, but keep going. Sorry.
no, it took me by surprise too. That's why I was just like, dude, you got to see this. But it also said maybe there's room on Mixer for the Tip Touch
I
podcast.
know. Oh, dude, there's got to be at that point. That's like a sign and just clear indication that we got to jump on it now, man.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I've always been able to see is the future, right? Is like,
Yeah,
oh, there's possibility here, there's possibility here. You just got to seize on it. So I think honestly, it's time to jump into Mixer, at least just to expand a little bit.
for sure, for
Um,
sure.
but yeah, yeah. And speaking of expanding our name out there, our name went out there a little bit more, not necessarily the Tip Touch podcast, but
Nope.
on Friday, the great city of Seattle and the greater Seattle region got to hear an interview where I went on KISW
Yep.
99.9 The Rock.
Man, you did that really good, dude. You've been
Oh
practicing,
yeah.
haven't
Hey,
you?
hey, I listen to it all the time. I listen to it every day in the afternoon, but I used to listen to it in the morning. And the show that I went on was the BJ&MIGS show. In the morning, they run I think from 5 to 10, something like that, or six to
Yeah.
ten, something like that. And it's a show I used to listen to every day. And so all of a sudden, I get a call or I get a text message from Troy. You know our friend Troy.
Yeah.
Shout
Good friend
out
Troy. Shout
Troy.
out
I
Troy. What's
meant to
up, Troy?
shout you out on the radio and I never did. I felt really bad. I hung up the phone and I'm like, man, Troy, I let you down. But Troy is like, dude, they're talking about you on KSIW right now and
Yeah.
they want you to call in because they were talking about 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
like, so now I'm starting to freak out, like, oh man, because like I said, I've listened to this show a
Mhm.
number of times, so I know they can go hard on people,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to be on
A
that end.
victim.
Like, I mean, just because when we were on 90 Day Fiance, we were one of the couples that got steamrolled through the media. And I was so tired of it and I didn't really want to continue that. But I was like, you know what? We're on a roll. Let's so I was texting you. I was like, Eddie, what do you think? And you're like, dude, do it. And then and then I texted Daya, like, hey, what do you think? I'm like, and I asked her to do it. And she said, no, I'm not interested. You do it.
Yeah.
So I contacted the show. I'm like, hey, uh, this is Brett from 90 Day Fiance. I heard you guys were looking for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it played out in live time and everything.
Yeah.
So
It did.
what I'll do, I'll leave a link. I left a link on my blog, but
Mhm.
also I'll leave a link on this to
On the
that interview.
description.
So if you
Yep.
guys want to hear it, I don't want to take any of their views from them. I want them to have all the love and all the things. Plus, I don't want to get taken down for a copyright violation.
Yeah.
But
Become in
I
peace.
figured,
Become in peace.
yeah, I figured. So we've always been really silent in the media when it came to how we were portrayed on the show and all that, and we've always, uh, like we are periodically in touch with the show, with the producers, and
Yeah.
they've gone through so many different producers. I mean, I want to say, probably 5 or 6 since we first went on. It's just there's a lot of rotation, so there's always a new head. We always get the emails, hey, so and so, I'm the new producer. And like there was this one time where we were talking to one new producer for the 90 Day Fiance, and then
Yeah.
2 weeks later they introduced a new one. So we've lost track, but the interview and our views are not meant to anger anyone from the show, and definitely none of the fans. We want the fans to keep believing in Santa. Santa's totally real. So it's all real. Everything you see is real.
Yeah.
But now that our NDA has expired,
Yeah.
we just wanted to kind of give people that follow us just a little bit more of an insider type view, so that people could understand a little bit more. But it's not anything that's meant to offend anyone. So please don't hurt us. Don't come after my cat.
You don't have a cat.
No, I don't.
It's just a
But
stray
it's
you've
just to
been
protect
feeding
me.
this whole time.
If someone were coming after me and they
Oh,
did
okay.
want to hurt my cat, it would be my neighbor's cat. But
Say, I want the little guy out anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's a
I'm
cat
all
to
for
the right.
animal rights, baby. You know me. You know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I listened to it when you sent me the link, listened to it. It was a good conversation. It's definitely something interesting for the people that want to check it out. Like he said, he'll put the link down into the description so you guys can be rerouted to that. But it was really cool. I think they were more curious to find out a little bit more in depth about the show and about you yourself and everything.
Yeah.
You covered some really good key points, I feel like, and it was just something for people that are really a huge fan of the show. They should go check it out for sure, most definitely, and show them some support as well. But I think that was awesome that you did it, because I kind of felt that you weren't really gonna do it, and at the end of the day, I was just like, it's kind of your choice, it's really if you want to put yourself out there, and I would have understood if you didn't want to, but I thought it was cool that you just took that leap of faith and you just went ahead and did it, man. I think that was cool.
I think I'm at this point in my life where if people like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. And I guess I'm just done caring about where I stand in people's lives. Like,
Yeah.
I am who I am. I mean, it
I mean,
is.
you're only 4 bottles of wine deep, so it's all good, right?
Yeah. Now I really don't care. In fact, I've got a few things to say about you.
It's but yeah, that was really, it was kind of unexpected too when you told me that. I thought you were joking with me at first.
Sorry. I was overcome by emotion. Yeah, I know. I thought it was a prank too, because at first I didn't recognize the number. Sorry, Troy, I deleted your number. And so it took me a second to realize it was the real deal too. So, but hey, the proof is in the link. Check it.
Yeah. So shout outs to them, and hopefully, maybe we could do something else, as like maybe like a collaboration or something sometime down the road, when we get ourselves out there a little more. That'd be pretty cool. So, I mean, possibilities are endless too, so yeah, that was dope. So, one thing I wanted to talk to you about is your little panic attack you had when Fortnite went out.
Dude, I've had a hell of a week.
So you want to tell
Fortnite?
You want to tell the people? Well, first of all, let's go back a little bit more. I was actually surprised when you told me that you played Fortnite, because even before you have told me yourself that you weren't really much of a gamer, and when you were playing video games at one point in your life, you said it was years ago. I would say when Grand Theft Auto, I don't know which one you were a fan of, but you told me it was
before San Andreas. I think it was Grand Theft Auto 4 or 3 or something.
Yeah. So it was just surprising to hear that you were back on that tip, and out of all the games, Fortnite was like your thing, or is your thing still. So how'd you go back to getting back on that gaming tip again? How did that even transpire?
Well, okay. So for one, I quit playing video games for years, like probably
Yeah.
10 years. There was a 10-year hiatus because I felt like I was just wasting my time. I would sit there and play video games for, I'm talking, probably 20 hours straight.
Really?
And oh man, it was bad. And
Oh,
like
okay.
I would call into work. It was really
Wow.
bad. Yeah, because
I didn't know that.
I don't know. Well, part of me is I think it's because I never had a childhood. My
Yeah.
childhood sort of surpassed me. And so now, as an adult, I'm making up for lost times.
Yeah. Understood. Understood.
And so, but when I was playing video games for so many hours on end back on the PlayStation 3,
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? I got to hang up the controller. And no, PlayStation 2. It was a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
I got to hang up the controller, call it good, and be productive. And ever since then, I've led a productive life.
Yeah.
Got a house, kids, a career. Now I'm about ready to throw it all away with my Xbox One and Fortnite.
I was just really surprised though when you told me that because I don't like I said there's times where you, like I feel like you're being serious or you're joking or whatever. So I was kind of trying to like, are you serious? You're on that Fortnite tip?
Dude, okay,
And
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
no, but I believed it because you've told me that you had a gamer tag, and for first and foremost, the picture on it you had is priceless. You just look shocked and surprised, like someone caught you doing something illegal. I was just laughing, but I noticed if people are familiar with Xbox, you can see what they're playing or what they're on, and I saw that you're on Fortnite. I'm like, oh man, he's being
All the
serious,
time.
and so ever since then, I've been noticing that you've been really on it. Like you like playing it, you enjoy it. But going now, but fast forwarding to what happened a couple weeks or a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago, I can't remember when exactly happened. Um, the black hole. So you had told me you're like, dude, there's a black hole in Fortnite, and
Freaking out.
you're freaking out. Like I just saw, like I heard the desperation in your voice. Like, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was like, are
Dude,
you serious right now?
yeah. No. Yeah. So like it was like a Thursday or Friday or whatever,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I'm there, and I'm picking up the controller, and it was like there was something in the news saying that something was going on with Fortnite. I'm like, what? So I picked up my controller, I logged in, and I'm like looking at the screen, and the screen saying technical difficulties, everything, and then all of a sudden the screen shakes, and all of a sudden, whoop, everything goes black, and then you saw the black hole. My wife was like, "What's going on?" I go, "I don't know what's going on. If I do."
You're all throwing a tantrum. You're like, quit asking so many questions.
So Izzy was scared. She ran to the other room, and so then I'm going to the social medias, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to find out what's going on. Nobody knew. It was just this black hole.
It was like a
And
mystery, man. It was a mystery. It was a lot of people were shaking up, but you were saying people felt probably the same way you did, freaking out like something had happened. But continue. You were
oh
saying
yeah,
though.
it felt like what was that one the 2K or the something 2K. Remember when the everything, it was 1999, and then once the clock strike to the year 2000, the whole digital universe was set to explode, and they didn't know what was
Oh
going to
yeah, it
happen.
was like the world was gonna end or something like that.
Y2K,
Yeah.
Y2K.
Y2K.
But also it was very reminiscent of Orson Welles' War of the World too. Like all these kids are freaking out, like what's gonna happen? We're being invaded by aliens, and everybody's just nobody knows what to do. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I was. I locked all the doors, and I just said, don't answer for anybody, not even the pizza man. But I ordered pizza, so just meet him out the back if you can. But and then so I'm calling my daughter, because the thing that got me into Fortnite in the first place was my 11-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And the original plan was for us to join on squads together, and where we could play, where she's in
Yeah.
Montana, I'm here, and we could play together. But she's like 10 times better than me, and so I just kind of got left behind. And
Dad,
I'm
I don't need to play with you anymore. I'm done.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't build. So so my build skills are done. But she's, so here I am freaking out. I can just feel my heart racing. And she's like, Dad, this is a nothing burger with cheese. Stop. Chill. Just
Oh,
wait. Just wait. And then I'm like, well, do you know? No, I don't know. But I bet it's nothing. So then lo and behold, Tuesday morning, we were back in action, baby. Woo! Chapter 2, season 1, something like that. Anyway, we're
yeah.
back in a new chapter, new thing. We're on a new island. The black hole disappeared, and we've got boats. We've got fishing poles. Oh, and I'm slaying. I am
I'm
slaying.
Oh, so I was for me personally, I don't play Fortnite. So for everybody that is, I'm making it sound for me. It's interesting because I never played Fortnite, so I'm not really up to speed with what's going
Just like
on.
what you do. You play Modern Warfare, right?
No, Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops. I'm more of
Woo!
a COD player, so it's kind of vice versa. Like I don't know what's going on in your realm, and you don't know what's going on in mine. But it was just really interesting because of the reactions that people were giving. Like even parents, I don't know if on social media they were kind of like trying to figure out what was going on because their kids were acting up my kid is not like they
Everybody was
actually
worried
got
about losing their V-Bucks.
yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want to lose their
Oh,
money.
there
They thought that they thought that the game was ending. That was the real deal. It was they
okay,
thought that
okay.
the game was ending, or they thought that the game had been hacked, because there was absolutely no communication from Epic Games to the audience. It was just
Mm,
all of a sudden there was this black hole. So you're just thinking, okay, we're in a standing pattern. What's
yeah,
going on?
yeah.
And so parents were freaking out because their kids are freaking out. So now naturally, the parents are going to be, in my case, it was the opposite, but
And the parents
most
freaking out.
people, most people were like, wait a minute, I put, all this real money into this
Yeah,
game, and now all of a sudden it's gone. You're not telling me what's going on, but it was part of the show. And I just
yeah,
love Epic Games for what they do. They are just masters at capturing the attention of the audience. And
yeah.
boy, they're just doing really good
Yeah,
and
and
getting rich doing it.
I understand now because in a way it's sort of like somewhat of an investment. You're putting money into your characters and into your skins like we were talking about. And then even you said yourself like you bought a skin that you wanted. And
Oh yeah.
I was kind of making a joke before that had and I was like, yeah, whoever buys those skins are losers and you're like, "Oh, I just bought one skin for myself." But it's I
Oh
mean,
yeah, you
that's
can
that's
buy
currently
dances, you can buy dances, you can buy all kinds of things,
but that's where it's moving towards to. Like, and I was telling you, a lot of these games now you have to pay for the extra stuff. And what Call of Duty does too, and on their hand is that if you want the new maps, you got to pay this $60 for the map pack or whatever they want to
Yep.
call it. And it's just crazy to think that before it was just more where it comes with the game or an update comes out and then you get the new map with the update, but
Yep.
now it's like they're charging you to get this stuff. And I mentioned that to you that when all this Fortnite chaos was happening, that a lot of these younger kids are actually forking over however much it is to get certain skins and to get maps and all this other stuff, which
Yep.
before it was more of achieving accomplishments in games, so it kind of
Yeah.
takes away from that to where it's kind of like you want to prove that you're a really good player, you get a certain costume that you can go back and say, "Oh man, this person had to do X amount of headshots or whatever you want to call it
Yep.
to achieve this skin or whatever." But now it's more you have to buy and fork over those extra $12 or however much it is. I don't know how much skins cost. How much do skins cost?
About $10.
10
10
bucks.
bucks a
Okay,
skin.
makes sense.
That's why people hate capitalism, because
Yeah,
people, you can easily get rich if you just open up the market for everybody to
yeah.
chip in a little bit. But it's no, this is sort of the same model that like Microsoft does, Adobe does,
Hmm.
a lot of companies are figuring out that this
Yep.
subscription method, or just pay as you go
Yeah.
method, is really sustaining their businesses.
So I did not know, and like I said, I might be late in the game to this. I did not know because I got a new laptop, right? So in order for me to have PowerPoint, Excel, Word, you have to pay a yearly subscription.
Yeah.
I did not know
Yeah.
that. I thought it
That
all came with it,
that's
and that was it. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
that's what I'm talking about. That's what
That's crazy,
people are
man.
are doing now. Yep.
That is
Yep.
insane.
So I did. One of the last ones that you didn't have to pay the subscription for. I bought that one, so I have it on USB. So I got saved from that. But
Oh,
yeah, Adobe
really?
used to be that way with their
Yeah.
music, with their Photoshop and all that. But no more, no
Yeah,
more.
that's insane, man. That's insane. Like we're moving
It's
into
a
this
new
whole
day.
game. Yeah, it's a new game now to where they're gonna find ways to charge and kind of speaking on the same realm of that. I don't know if I told you. Oh, we were talking about this too the day of the whole Fortnite chaos when you were all tripping out and all
Yeah,
this.
I don't remember much from that day.
Yeah, I think
Sorry.
yeah, everything I told you kind of just went in your one
Uh,
ear and out the other because you were just more like freaking out about
yeah,
what
Eddie,
you're gonna
just
do
talk
after
to me
work.
when the new season's up.
So one thing that I was telling you is that I upgraded to YouTube Premium.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
told
yeah,
you
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, I remember
And
that.
and we had a discussion off air, of course, that for one of the perks of having YouTube Premium is that you can actually play the videos even when you turn off your screen, right? Or you go into standby mode or whatever you want to call it. But it's crazy because I remember like a couple years ago that you were able to do that even when you without even you having to pay for it. But now they
Yeah,
figured it out to where nah, we're gonna charge you extra for that. And if you want to have
yeah,
that option, it's $10 a month or whatever however much it is a month. And dude, that's and like we're saying again, they're just trying to find every little leverage on you for them to
yeah,
charge that extra $2 or $5, whatever you may have it. And
yep.
also, speaking in that realm, I'm actually considering getting a YouTube TV. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't. Tell me about it.
So okay, so we are Comcast customers, and we don't use our cable box anymore. Like baby girl took over the TV. We only watch her little shows on YouTube, and
Yeah,
we have
we're just getting
repeat,
ready to
right?
kick ours too. Yep.
So So I was having this conversation with my wife and talking to her and letting her know, well, we kind of want to have some local channels just to kind of have there just in case, maybe for the football games or other. I
Mhm.
like watching boxing too, so sometimes they have boxing on certain channels now. Anyways, so I actually read that so this is free promo YouTube. I'll charge you later down the road. I'm going to charge you. I'm going to look back at this video and be like, yep, you owe me for that. But anyways,
Yeah.
so so now is $50 a month, and you get I forgot how many channels there were, but there was a select few of channels. It's like local channels within your area. You put in your zip
Uh,
code, and it'll bring down a list of channels that you want for $50 a month.
wow. How
So
much?
$50, just $50 a month.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm kind of debating if I should or shouldn't because in all reality, I stick to Netflix, Amazon Video, and that's really it. Hulu
Yeah.
here now, and so it's everything's pretty much on. Like I said, we're moving into the realm of streaming services, and we've talked about
Yep.
this in one of our previous episodes. So it's really come down to that now, and it's crazy for me to even have
Yeah.
this discussion with you and talking about it because that's where we're driving into. You know what I'm saying?
I love the fact that we're getting away from these package deals. Like
Yeah,
you have to get this if you want to watch the Disney Channel, you have to buy it with this package.
yeah,
And I always hated that. I never agreed with it. And then
yeah.
as these streaming networks started, that I loved it. I loved the fact that it seemed like you were getting things that you actually wanted and you were
Yeah,
paying for what you actually wanted.
yeah,
So I like that. I like
yeah,
it, but I don't know, like the YouTube thing, that seems like that's just the another version of Comcast. It seems like
yeah.
that's exactly what Comcast is doing
Hmm.
now. And for me, I don't like that just because I hated the fact that I would pay this cable bill, or currently am paying this
Yeah.
cable bill, and I'm spending it on all these channels that I
Hmm.
literally I watched two channels. Like today, I watched the Seahawks game. They got
Hmm.
demolished. Earl Thomas. but 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 I just it doesn't justify the money that I spend on this,
Yeah.
and you can see it. So I'm in one of the generations that we are one of the last generations holding on to cable, but we're starting to cut it more.
Yeah.
Anyone after us, they're going, why would I do that? No. So
Yeah.
so these guys are your Netflixers, all your Hulus or whatever.
Yeah.
They came in streaming. They've never seen a cable in
Yeah.
their life. They don't even know why they call it cable.
Or even a satellite dish. Like back in the day, it was like
Is
Prime
that a
Star.
what?
Remember? Do
Is that a
you
what?
remember Prime Star?
Oh yeah, way back in the
Yes.
day. That
Yeah.
the
That's
late
see.
90s.
kids won't even know about that Prime Star. And
Yeah.
and I remember just other people having those huge satellites. I don't know if you ever seen those like outside of people's homes. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
dang, dude, it's crazy now that we're morphing into where it's just a streaming service and that's it. It's all web based, all internet based, whatever you want to call it. But
Yep.
like you're saying, adding to with what you're saying, we're pretty much creating our own packages in a way to where like you have Apple TV coming out with their thing, you got Disney Plus coming out with their thing, you got Hulu,
Amazon.
Netflix, Amazon. So it's
Yep.
you have a variety of things, but you can choose what you want to pay for and what you're going to watch at the palm of your hands. You know what I'm saying? You can choose
Dude.
whatever you want.
Yeah, I was watching speaking of Amazon, I love documentaries. I love documentaries no matter what channel they're on, but there was this one on Amazon called Paper Tiger.
Mm.
And it was a documentary based on these kids. I think it was either Lincoln, Washington or Walla Walla, Washington. I forget. But it was these kids that came from all these crazy background. They had insane childhoods. I mean, and I think the reason why I was so interested was because I could relate to all these people.
Mhm.
But these kids went to ended up in alternative school, and this documentary was focused on these are the kids that are left behind. How can we teach them? How can we give them an education and also give them the confidence to be able to move forward and be productive, to see that they are not a product of their surroundings and their
Mhm.
environment, that they really are special. And so it was, if you want to watch a good documentary and about people that are truly making a difference, these educators that are over there in this school are just, it was Lincoln Alternative School or Lincoln High School, something. It was an awesome documentary, though. I was just like,
Okay.
because they were giving this test. It was called ACE, and it was like something about the childhood trauma, all the childhood trauma that these that you've been through. And they said if you've been through four or more, you're at risk. And they talk
Yeah.
about the stats about if you're at risk, you're more likely to end up in prison. You're more likely to end up in the same cycle of violence. You're
Mhm.
in drug abuse, drug use, all that. And my whole life I always felt like, yeah, I just dodged it somehow, some way, through, because I lived the same life that these kids had.
Yeah.
And I was like, man. And so they talk about what these kids need, and it's a stable adult. And I'm thinking that's probably what saved me, is there were these stable adults through my life that I could always look back, whether it was a school counselor that I had for a number of years,
Mhm.
or people at one of my first jobs that I had that just really took that time. So I feel like I was completely saved by the grace of something. There was some power out there that just wanted me to make it past that. But man, I see so many of these kids that don't have those same opportunities and that same
Yeah.
luck that I
Yeah.
had. And so that's, so it's on Amazon Prime. uh Paper Tiger, check it out.
Paper
It's a good
Tiger.
one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll have to check it out myself too, and I'll definitely want to bounce back and kind of give you my thought about it and just give my initial review about it too. Just because I like hearing stories like that. Just because if it affects the community in a positive way, I'm all
Yeah,
about it, man. And
yeah,
that's dope
yeah.
to hear that there's something like that out there. That's awesome. So what's it called again?
Paper Tiger.
Paper Tiger. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, man, there's a bunch of cool stuff on. Like I get carried away too on cool documentaries like that, and you always get like. I like to read a little bit about it, like on the biography, and then go from there. And if it's something
Yeah.
interesting, then I'll go and watch it. But there's a ton. I've been recommended so many things, man. It's just kind of hard to start somewhere. But what's cool is that you don't gotta wait for a specific time for when it's airing or nothing. It's all in the control
Yes.
of your hand, man. That's
I
awesome, and
was
I
reading
love it.
something that they said that Netflix. I was reading an article. They said that Netflix, they haven't done it yet, but they are looking at a new model that will not allow you to binge watch all your favorite shows.
Really.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
prepare. It's like but in a way I think it's cool because there was a show that I was binge watching. It was called I was on Amazon Prime again. It was called Man in the High Castle, and it plays out the scenario that where if the Nazis and the Japanese had won World War II,
Yeah.
how would that play out? And so they
Mm.
show, and so this takes place in America, and where the Nazis get everything east of the Rockies, and the Japanese get everything west of the Rockies, and then the Rockies itself is like the neutral zone. And it's just a crazy show, but I was like hooked. And I am not a guy that watches a lot of TV, but this one was just so it captivated my imagination and my attention, because I always, that was something I thought about, is what if Nazi Germany would have won that war?
Yeah.
And what would it look like? And so obviously that was based on a book that was written, and I really want to read the book. But yeah, it was a really good show. So there's a lot of stuff out there. But anyway, I binge watched that thing like crazy, and I would have been so upset to have a model that told me I needed to wait until next week to watch.
Yeah.
Like there's this timer. It's like a
Yeah.
fat kid with cake, and then all of a sudden someone's telling him, "No mas, no
No
mas,
ma.
can't have more cake, fat cakes."
Yeah. No, that's man, I wonder how people are gonna react to that. I would think there's gonna be a lot of angry people for sure, because if there's a show out there or a new season that releases, they're gonna be eager to finish that whole thing in a day or whatever, So
canceling my Netflix subscription today.
I wouldn't be surprised if they lost a lot of subscribers to that, to their platform too. And it's kind of a good thing in a way too, to build up suspense and kind of build up that hype to where like you're looking forward to go to watch something the next day or the following 2 days or whatever the timer is, or however it's going to play out. But I can see a positive note on the same side of it too, but you can kind of see both ends. Yeah.
I do agree with it. I think that there is something to be said about that suspense. And also, movie makers and all these creators, they don't have time to keep up. They cannot keep up with the flow. We can consume so much so quickly, and these guys are going, well, wait a minute, that took us a year to film, or 6 months to film and put everything together, and you just in a day you just took all of our hard work and all of our effort in, and now you're asking for more. So I think it is going to help obviously the movie industry, the people, the producers.
That's true. I never looked at it that way. Yeah, that's true. That is really true. Because man, you always hear about people just binge watching certain shows here and there, and they just run through it, pretty quick. So it's insane.
Get a life, glutton.
I know I've done it before, so hey, I'm one of those people.
Just do that on Fortnite. But I'm learning how to build. I'm trying to get better how to build. Now I'm to the point where if somebody's shooting me, I can now build a wall between me and the shooter.
Oh man, you're just progressing, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. No, that's cool, man. I like that you're venturing off into something that it's definitely a new era of gaming. I feel just overall that game mode that we play, because it's both kind of the same concept, right? It's battle royale, but yours is a little bit different because you got to build and do all this other stuff. So it kind of takes a little bit more, how do you say, a little bit more skill in that aspect to be able to win these matches and whatnot. But
dude,
overall, it hasn't been too long for me too to jump on the same wagon. Also, playing the battle royale game mode, it's really addicting, and that's the only reason why I got back to it, because it's really like on the edge of your seat type of game. Like you want to make it to the end, and you want to win, obviously, and especially it's more fun to play with a group of people and having your teammates so you can squad up and communicate and kind of like have a game plan to make it to the end and win. And it's so fun. It's fun. And that for me, coming from me, that I've always loved games, like video games since Nintendo. I was
watching you play
Nintendo, all that. Yeah.
I was watching you play, and I think you were playing with Brad.
Yeah.
And where you guys were on the top of this roof. So you went from one building, and then you were making it into another one, and you're just like leading them. You're just like, all right, we're going to go on the top of this building. You threw on some shield. There was this guy that was trying to snipe you from another building, and you're like, oh, I got one. But it was like watching a movie. I could not stop watching. I was like, damn, look at my boy Eddie. He's letting him have it. You know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was good, man. You are on your game. You are
Yeah,
on
man.
your game. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of you. That's what I'm saying.
I was like with anything, man. It takes time to get to that. It took more and more for me to like play it out and really get used to it because if let's say if I jump on Fortnite and then you jump on Call of Duty and we kind of switch roles, I would not know what to do, dude. I'll be getting slaughtered left and right. And that's just the way it is with anything. You know, you always want to kind of give it an effort to where you're kind of figure it out and you kind of like learn as you go. But it's fun overall. Just right now in the era we're in games right now, it's so much fun and I enjoy doing it. And that's kind of why
Yeah.
I ventured off and doing kind of my mixer thing too, because you meet a lot of cool people and
Yeah.
you engage with others that kind of have the same passion for it as you do. So it's a really cool thing, I think, man.
Yep.
And that's just coming from me because, like I said, I'm doing it now, so it's fun. And I think it's cool that you got back into it too, man. I mean, you're kind of seeing it. I exposed you to Mixer a little bit, and now you're kind of seeing a bunch of cool stuff, like with the Grand Theft Auto thing that you want
Yeah.
to do sometime. We'll definitely have to do that. Just kind of like
Oh yeah, where we play
skits
these
within
characters.
that the
Yeah.
virtual world. Yeah, that'll be fun.
We got to do that. Yeah. No, man, that's all good stuff. And no, I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to the interview coming up real soon with Luis. And you know, I'll make sure that I don't wear a shirt during that interview so that I'm tattoo ready. Tattoo ready. Get my
We're
first
just
tattoo.
we're all doing an interview while you're just getting inked up.
Yeah, I'll just be
Oh, so
flexing my pecs.
so one more question before we wrap this up, and I don't know, I'll ask you on air because it was a funny thing you have told me, and this was before. So you were telling me, and again, I don't know if you're being serious again. If we ever hit 1 million subscribers, you get a bear tattooed on you.
No, this is our deal. This is a real deal, and we will talk about this with Luis. This is something I was
Okay,
saving
okay,
for him.
okay, okay, okay.
So that's what we'll do. I will, I will let everybody know what the deal is, and I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh man, this has got to go down as like one of the most. I mean, I'm sure somebody has done it, but to this magnitude of what you want, it's pretty up there, man.
Dude,
It's crazy.
it's yeah, it's like one of those things that makes me realize that I'm not as normal as I was hoping I was. Like I hoped that everything I went through my life and my childhood, I'd come out somewhat normal.
Yeah.
No, like there's still some screws that are loose up there, and you'll see it on this interview.
Okay, okay.
Grr.
Oh man, it's gonna be awesome. Well, yeah, well, definitely, yes. I'm looking forward to the interview. It's gonna be this Saturday. So for everybody else that's keeping up with us, for the 15 subscribers we have, man, we are so appreciative of that. I always
Yeah,
talk to my
dude.
co-host here that we are. To me, I see it as an accomplishment because with anything that we achieve, like in a sense of we're moving forward, this is just one of those. It's a living proof that we're actually gaining viewers and along with that gaining subscribers and following us on this journey that we're both going on. So we thank you and we appreciate it. But for people that are watching this, if you could like, subscribe, comment on this, it'd be much appreciated too. It goes a long way. We want to go as far as we can, and we'll talk about more of this whole goal of reaching however many subscribers we reach for Brett to do something awesome that I feel is going to be one of those. It'll be a monumental moment. I'll just say that in TikTok history. So we'll definitely, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and for you to talk about it on air too as well with Luis. But yes, that's gonna happen this weekend, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, dude. I got this for you.
All right, that is another episode of the Tip Touch. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and we are out.